and welcome home, no? Not just home as a building or a structure, no, pero home as a space where even for the next mga 2 oras, you don't have to pretend. You don't have to have the right answers. You don't have to also agree with everything that's will be shared. You don't even have to know what you think yet. You simply just have to arrive in full presence. At TLC, yung layunin natin ay simple, no? To co-create one world well and whole. Notice, we didn't say one world that agrees. We didn't say one world that thinks alike. We said one world, well and whole. So ngayon po mga kaibigan, today is a practice ng layunin at vision na yun because if you're a member of the LGBTQIA plus community or an ally or someone who's still learning, kung meron kang mang tanong or you have strong convictions about it, or someone who just simply is entering this conversation with the goal to understand this container is for you. You belong here. So our invitation is very simple. Can we become just a little more human with one another? No, mites?
Yes, Juan. And what really actually just to recap also what you really said, it's wherever you find yourself and what you identify as, this is you're welcome in this space. That's really the invitation. And as we go through this space, we also invite everyone to practice what we call in human systems dynamics or HSD. Maybe that the team can also put on chat what that means. But simple rules. They're not really house rules or not really Zoom instructions, but just practicing this to
It's a
come into this
stance.
space. Yes,
It's a
it's a stance.
stance. It's an
So.
attitude. No,
Mhm.
minds.
Yes, so hindi siya to-do list, hindi siya or whatnot. Basta coming in and how you show up, it's a stance. So these simple rules, there are five, but I think one of the important simple rules in this is really that this space is really safe and sacred. You might hear stories, experiences that the participants or even our speakers might open up. So let's suspend judgment, let's be sensitive, and even if we are the ones listening and someone is speaking, actively listen. Listen to understand. We come here in this space to be curious, not really making or solving anything, not being certain about anything. We listen to understand, not to really prepare what we want to reply. And lastly, at the end of this session, not really coming on with maybe more opinions or not merely just opinions, but even just having at least one step or one practice after this session. So if you're able to find that out for yourself and for your team or even in your own spaces, then that's something we invite you all to discover.
Minds, no? In fact, as I shared with you, when I shared nung pinadala ko yung invite natin sa mga communities of which I'm part, sabi ko, nararamdaman nyo ba minsan o baka madalas na parang ine-edit nyo yung sarili nyo kasi feeling
Mm,
mo hindi kayo matatanggap ng as you are, no? As your true self, as your whole self, no?
mm,
So this conversation today is not just about pride, no? It's about human wholeness. Kaya inumpisan natin sa pagiging buo. Ang hirap kasi sa panahon ngayon, one mites at mga kaibigan, no? We seem to be very, very so-called connected through social media. Pero tingnan niyo yung mga pagsasaliksik at pag-aaral. People feel so isolated. People feel so alone because they feel they're really not accepted as they are. Nako, kung walang filters, paano
mm,
na
mm.
yan? Paano magiging itsura mo? Tatanggapin ka ba? Here, what we're saying is come as you are, come whole, no? Because we will accept you exactly as you are. Juan?
That's so true, Susan. And as you come into this space, as you are, with full being, I want to open this to the whole of our container, no? Just post on chat. You can quickly Google online to find a picture of the color of these colors. Just choose one. You can use an emoji, a picture, or an image that describes it. Choose a color that resonates with you the most this morning. Don't overthink it. Just among the colors that you choose one and post it on chat. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Del. Thank you, Zeeb. Green. We have two reds. Green and yellow, Susan. But
Siyempre, basta, sabi ko sa sarili ko, these 3 days, basta kakainin ko lang talaga gulay. Yan. I invite you to, be one with me. 3 gulay days, no?
Interesting, no, Mides? We see some reds, yellows, greens, a lot
May
of
ibig
green.
sabihin ba yan, Juan? May ibig sabihin ba yung mga kulay na yan?
Tan, syempre po. Mga kaibigan, these colors come from the original pride flag that was made by Gilbert Baker in the 1970s during the gay rights movement in San Francisco with Harvey Milk. These all have meanings to express presence and identity. So let's see, no? For those like Maida and like Sheila and Zeeb, who picked
Yes, we
red,
have some red.
this represents life. Orange naman, meron bang orange? Not really, but we have orange that represents healing.
Paghilom. Okay.
Paghilom. Yellow, we have a lot of yellows. Abeth, Teens, Frida, James. That represents sunlight.
Yes. In the midst of the maulan na panahon. No?
Bright. Greens, we have Pat, Maricel, Del. That represents nature.
Kanina, Juan, gusto ko lang ibahagi. May niyakap ako na 2 puno kanina. Kinagat pa ako ng langgam. Pero okay lang kasi talagang naipamalas ko yung aking pagmamahal. Sa totoo lang, yung mga hardinero nakatingin sa akin tapos nagbubulungan. Hindi ko alam kung ano sinasabi nila. Baka naman si Mama.
Tree hugger talaga in the best sense of the word, ika nga, Susan. Turquoise naman, we have Cass and Leonida. That represents art. For indigo, walang indigo, but indigo represents serenity. And we have spirit. I think Joyce and Jane. For purple, that's me. It's spirit. Interesting, no? We bring our own colors and our own presence and our own identities to this conversation. So continue coming just as you are. As we move on, all of us, in all of our colors, are included in this conversation. Also, the Zoom chat remains open for any insight or mga tanong that come to you along the way. So let me now recognize and introduce our speakers from the community, which we're so honored and grateful that they could take the time to come with us today. Our first guest spends her days designing employee benefits as she leads the online benefits team at Aon Philippines. But today, she isn't here to talk about just benefits. She's here to talk about something every human being longs for: belonging. She's a proud member of the LGBTQ+ community and a passionate advocate for inclusive workplaces where one can really thrive as their whole authentic selves. Let's please welcome Greng Garcia.
Hey everyone, morning. Magandang umaga sa lahat.
Welcome, welcome, Greg.
Welcome, Greng.
Welcome.
And our second guest has spent years working with communities, educators, and young people alike. She reminds us through her fearless advocacy work that inclusion is really never merely policy. It becomes real, one conversation at a time. May I please get a round of applause to welcome advocate, government steward, Giki, Miss Giki Tangente. Hello,
Welcome,
Giki.
geeks.
Oh, magandang araw sa lahat.
Do you what came up for you seeing all the colors in our chat right now, diba? As the song goes, makulay ang buhay.
Masaya. Actually, actually indigo ako. Yun. It's serenity pala, apparently, no? So, masaya ako na iba-iba. Tapos, when I learned that it was created and the meaning was created also by the one who created the pride flag. Talagang sinasabing na, ito yung gusto nating makuha. This holistic approach in life, di ba? The healing, serenity. It's not just about being who we are, pero yung holistic sino ka. Yun, di ba? So, ang ganda. Ngayon ko lang na-reflect na, nga, no? So, ikaw, Gren, ano ba ang mo?
Ay, ako, nag-type ako doon. As soon as I've seen it, I've always been yellow. So, yellow because, it represents, brightness, a ball of sunshine. So, what else could we be in this world of darkness, diba? But be a light to someone else. So, I've always been a yellow girl.
Yes, sending the spark. Ayan.
Yun.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Geeky and Greng, for being here. I'm very curious, no? There's going to be some kind in this conversation. Siyempre, magbabalik tanaw tayo, paano ba nag-umpisa ang movement. Pero sa palagay ko, nagmula nung naging tao tayong lahat, diba? Nagkaroon na talaga ng parang evolution, no, yung kaulugan ng bawat ng buhay natin, no, and our lives are actually made up of many moments, hindi po ba, no? So I'd like to ask, para sa inyong dalawa, Greng and Giki, ano yung moment sa buhay nyo na para bagang quietly changed yung pagkakaintindi mo o ninyo what it means to belong, no? Yung na that you are accepted as you truly are.
Gigi, you wanna go first?
Hindi na ba, Miss Susan? Sa umaga.
Kayo nga moments, diba? No,
Yeah.
yung balikan mo lang yung moment na parang gusto ko talagang matanggap ako as I am, no? And what did you do since then?
Sige. Actually, parang kasi corny, no? It may seem corny and something na parang ang layo mo sa movement. So parang malayo siya o kaya parang disconnected ka with the movement, no? Kasi as you can see, ako, I'm very proud lesbian. Though kung kita niyo naman, I'm very feminine. So kumbaga, this is the term na tinatawag mo na passing ka. You're not even, people might see you na, you're not even part of the LGBTIQ community. At first, I started syempre bilang personal, no? I also work with Galang Philippines before. Hello, may mga kasama tayo sa Galang dito. And I was part, yung unang trabaho ko ay bahagi ng community organizer. Tapos, ito yung mga two-way two sides of the coin. And then when I was engaging with the community, feminine ako, I have my nails talaga polished, ganyan, maganda yung kulay. And then nagko-communicate kami, kwentuhan with our partners in the community. And they said, one person said na, oh, hindi ka naman tomboy. Kasi hindi ako sumushoot doon sa stereotype ng pagiging tomboy. And then I realized, wait lang, if I step back, kung titignan nyo, people might think na doon sa iba na, uy, ang swerte mo kasi hindi ka pumapasa or na pumapasa ka, passing ka. Pero at the same time, for people na who's really working and you're advocating talaga for equal rights for everyone, ang sakit rin pala makarinig nung ganon, na hindi ka bahagi ng community. And then I also realized na talagang stereotyping really hurt everyone. At yung stereotype, hindi lang siya versus the LGBTIQ plus rights, but also versus those na hindi mo mapasok dun sa boxes na akala nila na ganito. So, dun sa moment na yon, I really felt na mas kasi challenging ako na tao eh. Parang gusto ko, ganun pala. So therefore, tingin ko dahil na-reflect ako at nakita ko na malaki talaga yung gap din. Naniniwala ako sa exposure at sa ayun nga, I really believe na if people are exposed na may iba't iba palang itsura ng LGBTIQ plus people.
Mismo.
Oo. So, sabi ko, sige, gusto ko to. Kasi sabi nga ni Juan, I'm so happy na naalala niyo, no? Changing the world one chika at a time.
Yeah.
Because that's my strategy in life. It's my mantra na talaga na parang hindi ako makikipag-away. Pero let's converse. At sinasabi niya, yun nga, syempre may sakit. Gusto ko sabihin, hindi tayo perfecto, no? May sakit na you're not part of this community. Pero it's also a challenge sa'yo at ano ba yung dapat mong gawin. So, yun po. Isa yun sa mga naalala ko. Pero there's a lot of things. Pero
I
tumatak
am
talaga
sure.
siya.
I'm sure there are gazillions ng moments. No? Salamat, Giki. No? Greg, ikaw.
Ay, Giki, thanks for sharing that, no? Sa akin naman, personally, there's a lot that I can share. But the very first experience that I've had was actually within my family. That's the smallest, unit where I should feel I belong, di ba? But it's maybe the same stories of other people as part of the community, that even within the family, sometimes you don't feel belong. And it's actually because, currently I'm living the life of being a trans woman. But of course, there's a lot of stories behind before I became like this, because there's a transition period. Ever since I was actually born, nagkaroon na ako ng pag-iisip. I know that I would wanted to be like this. So, but during those times, although I did not actually I did not come from a time of there's a gender dysphoria. I just really know na ito yung gusto kong mangyari for myself. But this is actually not how my family sees me, because I was born as a male. That's actually my gender at birth. And that's actually how they would want me to be. And the family structure is that I only have one sister. Napapagitnaan ako ng dalawang lalaki. So then why would I be like this, right? Right? Tapos magkasunod pa kami nung bunso. And then there will be at times, para kayong twins, that you gotta have to wear the same clothes, you gotta have to be, like twins, and so on and so forth. So it means that parang sineshape ako on something that I am not. And there's still a lot more that I'll be sharing later on, Susan. That's just first, for at least from the family point of view. I still have stories to share around, community, corporate world, and so on. But yeah, at least the first time that I've experienced that is actually within the family.
Yes, thank you. Thanks so much, no, Kiki and Greg. Kasi ang naririnig ko sa sinasabi nyo, tayong lahat, kung hindi tayo aware, meron tayong mga blinders, meron tayong mga filters na tinatawag na stereotypes, mga biases, and huwag ka sa nag-uumpisa yan sa pamilya natin. 'Di ba? Sa ating pagpapalaki, how we are raised and all that. Kaya po, kung meron po dito mga magulang tulad ko, I have 3 adult children, no? And I really am one with you. Kasi as I age, no, I am 67 years old. Lalo kong nararamdaman ngayon yung mga biases ng mga tao patungkol sa isang aging person. No? Hindi siya naiiba, no, sa pinag-uusapan natin sa ating makulay na daigdig. Juan, Mites?
Thank you. Thank you again so much for the intro, Geeky and Greg. And Maida and I felt that the best way to start this conversation and was to see, okay, where did pride really begin? What were the roots of it, and how is it right now, both in the world and the Philippines? So what we really wanted to share from this slide is that pride, it wasn't a parade, but it did start as a protest, no, Mides?
Actually, it's quite interesting, Anna, because personally, how I even got exposed to this movement, and just really the whole gathering of this was really the activities that we see during June. I hear it from my friends, my family, but when I think we had a similar F3 related to Pride, even I think years ago, and even with Geeky and Greng, I think during our quinceañera, we did also mention about the Pride movement and how it started. So even for me, it's a learning as well.
Yeah, and its roots were really political because it was a rebellion from the Stonewall Inn against harassment and criminalization from the New York City mayor's office and the police. And it was also led by the people who salaylayan ng lipunan then. Now, with that origin, where is the world now? Admittedly, not so good. No, Mides? It's very uneven. There are real gains, but there's also very real backlash because 1 in 3 countries still criminalize consensual same-sex relationships. 129.
Ano mga countries yan, Juan? Yung criminalized ang same-sex relations?
Unfortunately, there are quite a lot of Middle Eastern countries who don't. Indonesia is also another one. There are also
very close to home. Okay.
And in 129 out of 193 UN member states, those are the percentage where it is legal, but there are about 12 countries where it still carries the death penalty. And on the corporate side, unfortunately, with all the so-called culture wars that are happening now, corporate DEI is slowly retreating because firms are scaling back out of fear. And even then, decriminalization is still advancing. So countries very recently, like Singapore, have repealed bans on same-sex relations. So it's part of a slow, decades-long move away from criminalizing same-sex relations. But repression is also hardening in other parts of the world. So Uganda enacted severe penalties for just being gay. Russia branded the LGBT movement as extremist, and several states merely criminalize talking about LGBTQIA plus life and experiences. So it's really uneven, folks. So there are countries that are very safe, but there are countries that are very dangerous. And
Gusto ko itanong si Kiki at saka si Green, base pa rin sa karanasan, talagang direct lived experience, no? Sa, kung susurihin natin sa ngayon, Geeky, no? It's actually been years na rin, no? That the government has, enacted laws as well as, corporate entities, no, public sector, private sector, non-profits, especially. Ano yung naging karanasan nyo? Anong nakikita ninyo so far? No? Gigs, compared with the statistics that we're seeing that's shared by Juan.
Actually, just to share lang siguro, kasi this one is more, tawag nito, whole, worldwide pa, international,
Global
and
siya, no?
global yung aspect, no? And I think later, one will also be discussing sa Philippine context, no? Pero siguro just to share, I had experience parang few years ago lang, we went to Indonesia. Yeah. May isang seminar na pinuntahan namin sa Indonesia. And you know, Indonesia is a very Islamic
Yes.
country, no? So, tapos yun yung panahon na marami ding mga cases na kailangan, yung cases na mga hinuhuli. So, a lot of, as you can see, nakikita ko kasi yung LGBT movement, hindi siya nalalayo doon sa nagpo-push rin ng mga karapatang pantao. Diba? Kasi nga yun yung roots mo eh. You're talking about your human rights. So
Human, yeah.
a lot of LGBTIQ plus communities and organizations are very active in pushing for human rights, no? At talagang nasa forefront sila. So because of that, maliban sa yun nga, as mentioned ni Juan na natatag na extremists, meron talaga na kapag mga LGBTIQ plus rights talaga, tinatag na sila agad as kalaban ng gobyerno. Plus, additional nga yung layer nung illegal pa rin yung pagiging bahagi or parte ng LGBTIQ plus communities. So, nung nandun ako, talagang pinag-iingat, talagang kailangan sabihin na nasaan kayo, dapat hindi tayo maghiwa-hiwalay. As in, grabe yung safeguards mechanism.
Para sa safety, no?
Sa safety ng lahat. Kasi kahit sabihin na, it's as you can see, it's an LGBT activity. Pero ang ginawa nila, para mangyari yun, kinailangan nilang i-rebrand yung buong activity para lang matuloy yun. So, may mga ganon. Pero yun nga rin, nakikita mo pa rin eh, at talagang ma-amaze ka pa rin kung gaano katapang at yung courage ng mga tao to still push. At makita yung, di ba, they know how to indicate everything. Bawal pala yan. Di tago natin sa sa ganitong klaseng activities. Pero yun nga.
Maraming workaround. Diba?
Kaya rin talagang matutuwa ka rin sa husay ng mga tao. At saka, pero higit sa lahat, sobrang ma-amaze ka at sobrang mapaproud ka dun sa bravery and courage ng lahat.
Thanks, Geeks. One more before we go to Greng's experience coming from corporate naman. Masasabi ba natin, Geeky, sa ngayon na sa public sector lang, sa ating pamahalaan, syempre may mga ahensya ng pamahalaan, tapos you have the executive, legislative, judicial, tapos meron kang national government, tapos sa local government, hanggang sa mga barangay, sityo, ganyan. Tanggap-tanggap na ba? Gigs, ano masasabi mo?
Kasi isa sa naging work ko before ay policy advocacy and networking, no? So, I had the chance to work in different areas talaga. There's a lot of efforts even before from the judiciary. Meron talaga they discuss about LGBTIQ rights in our policies. Sa executive, syempre the social equality bill, at different bills pa. You have also anti-discrimination ordinances in different municipalities, cities, and provinces, no? So, masasabi ko na ang daming efforts, though kalat-kalat siya. Saka isang, so isang challenge, hindi siya necessarily masama kasi it's also a strategy. Because I think it's the same with sa US kasi nga 'di ba kung hindi kinakaya doon sa federal, ang gagawin nila magsi-city level sila. State level.
City and state.
City.
Tama. State and city.
So,
yes.
may mga ganong effort. So, same rin naman. Talaga na kaya may dumami ang push rin ng anti-discrimination ordinances in various cities, provinces because of that. Because hindi mapasa yung yung Social Equality Bill, di ba?
Oo.
So, aside from that, may mga efforts naman talaga sa loob ng iba't ibang mga ahensya. Pero hindi pa nga rin 'to sobrang connected at sobrang collective yung effort,
I
'no?
see.
Saka hindi siya nai-institutionalize pa.
Mm-mm.
So, yun siguro yung isa sa landscape na hindi naman siya zero, pero hindi pa siya yung sobrang okay na okay na. Oo, marami na tayong pwedeng simulan. Yun nga yung laging sinasabi natin. Sabi lang natin na
Yes.
ano man, marami na tayong nagawa. Marami pa rin gagawin, pero marami na tayong mga
Mismo.
and congratulations and kudos to all different organizations, not just organizations, but also individuals. Naniniwala ako na dun sa mga yon, yung sinasabi ko mga efforts, dahil may mga naniwala, kahit isang tao na naniwala. Well, it may be strategically they were placed in a strategic position. It's important. They are placed in strategic position and they use those privilege in a manner na mapupush nila tong equal rights for everyone. But still, merong mga naniwala. So, yun.
Yeah. So, kailangan talaga pagkabit-kabitin yung maraming maliliit at malalaking nangyayari sa iba't ibang lugar, sa iba't ibang antas, di ba? We have to ourselves be parang pinagkakabit natin parang hibla, no? Di ba? We weave that no into which is exactly why we're also doing with tiyaga, makukuha din yan, no? Tiyaga lang and perseverance. What about you, Greg? Your perspective, no? You can talk about which ano to, but really we're very curious about what's happening first in your own organization and anong napapansin mo sa ibang private corporations, entities. Ganon din ba sa napapansin ni Geeky? Your perspective, Greg.
Okay. Gusto ko simulan doon sa sinabi ni Geeky earlier, no, na malayo na pero malayo pa. Okay? Reason why, it's because as one actually presented earlier, when actually Pride really started 1969, ang layo na ng narating natin to where we are today. Because what we call Pride today is such as a celebration, may after parties, and so on and so forth. But still, at the end of the day, it started to be a protest, it started to be a movement for people looking for dignity, looking for equality, and so on. But where we are right now, when we see Pride celebrations being celebrated by hundreds and thousands of people all around the world, and even just in the Philippines, di ba, ang layo na ng narating natin. However, though, may mga makikita pa rin tayo. DE&I or diversity, equality, and inclusion is really, really very big nowadays. You'll really hear it in every corner, especially sa corporate world. Okay, however, I have had Susan and from all of our audience here, so mga kaibigan natin na nakikinig, I've had an early experience, early awakening of that experience na discrimination from the time that I was still a fresh grad. That was, I think, siguro, sige, mahulaan nyo na age ko. Siguro mga 16, 17 years ago na when I was still trying to apply for work, no? So let me share my story, and I hope it's not about
please
whatsoever, but for everyone to actually at least listen and learn from it. Okay, so when I was applying for work, I've had with me my best friend who is a gay guy. So, but of course, I was actually much more feminine. Siya medyo hindi mo pa mapagkakamalang gay. So when we were applying, on several instances, but this one particularly on a banking institution. So we were already there, scheduled already interview for that particular day. They already have our CVs. So but of course, siyempre, during that time hindi pa masyado ma-online and so on. So you gotta have to go there physically. So when we were there already, we've already handed our CVs, another copy of our CVs. So nung nakita nila kami personally, of course, me being much more feminine compared to my friend, but even hindi naman sa ako na sa nagyayabang, but even if you're going to take a look on our CVs, mas maganda naman yung university records ko compared to my friend. And yet I was denied of the interview during that day, even if I'm already scheduled. So even if I'm already scheduled, I was denied. So siya, he was able to go through, but actually we did not go there, them knowing na magkaibigan kami. We actually, parang hindi kami para magkasama. So he was able to see that actually my paper was shredded. So, inintay ko na lang siya. He was able to go through that interview, ako hindi. And there were also several instances, but actually that one coming from that banking institution was actually the worst, that they gotta have to cancel me on the day of my interview. And, sana hindi lang sinabi sa akin yung friend ko na nakita niya yung paper ko being shredded. Kasi he was actually guarded until ma-interview siya. So, nakikita niya yung person from who received our CVs. So, isa na yun. And but from that time, I hope really it already changed. So I've just had several company jumps from that one. And I had my previous company before I joined Aeon Philippines, which I also had some experience of, not because I started transitioning during that time, but it was taken against me when I started to do my transition, because of course I already have that, financial backup for myself kasi medyo kumikita na din ako and so on, to do some changes and do the transitioning. And yet that department head that we have during that time was actually she talked to me separately, individually, and said that if this is actually whom you wanted to be, dressing up like that and so on and so forth. So how do you think people will perceive you? How do you think your team members will see you? So I don't think this is someone that would actually go there as you go and climb up the ladder in the corporate world. So I was actually, talked to about that by that department head already. And that was actually a multinational corporation. And that was already, history. I already joined Aeon where I actually feel I truly belong. But in terms of the landscape, from where Geeky actually mentioned that there's still a lot lacking from the public sector, at least somehow, as I am part of a multinational corporation where we work for advisory of employee benefits of our clients, I would see, there's, kaya nasabi ko din, malayo na pero malayo pa. Kung ano yung pagkukulang, at least from the public sector or from the government side, at least medyo napupunan yon from the corporate world and also from the private sector side, particularly from the multinational companies. Because nowadays, DE&I, sabi ko nga, bukang bibigyan ng madami. So I think we also have a question from earlier coming from one of our attendees. I'm not sure kung nandito siya ngayon. So how do we move from performative support to really an allyship? But really, we're moving from there, because we are seeing, companies really putting budgets, finances really to finance, this group of people, the LGBT group of people, to show their support and allyship to them, because there are benefits already that are really for this certain group of people. So we do have, companies already supporting people.
Example of benefits, Greg.
Sure.
Ha? Sige nga.
Okay. I have one client which is really, really very good, because they started their domestic partner coverage for medical for a same-sex marriage. Right?
Wonderful.
So,
covered siya, no?
Yes, and they started for a same-sex until the heterosexual people already asking, bakit yung same-sex lang until they also actually offered it. But on other companies, you would actually be seeing that they will actually offer it for the domestic partners of not same-sex marriage, diba? But this actually, they started to be having that coverage for domestic partners of same-sex marriage. There are also companies already nowadays that would support people who would want to transition. So yung mga HRT, like hormone replacement therapies, are already being covered. And of course, before that, because even before you go through gender affirmation, there should be, consults and so on with psychiatrists or psychologists to actually manage the mental health, because they're so-called, we call as gender dysphoria and so on and so forth. Is this actually what you really want to? Those actually are being covered as well on the mental side, and also from the support on the surgery and so on and so forth. There are already companies that are putting up programs for that.
Salamat, Kiki and Greg. Malayo na pero malayo pa, no? So, but given your personal experience and how things have evolved, one, siguro, bakit hindi mo yan apaso? Paano nga ba siya nag-evolve, no? Hanggang sa makarating siya to where we are now. That's slides 21 and 22.
Yes. Actually, and this is what the timeline of Philippine Pride has been. Sorry, one slide back po. One slide back. There we go. It started in 1994, but it was actually preceded by the Lesbian Collective March of 1992, which was the country's first lesbian street action. No? When this happened in 1994 by Stonewall Manila, it was actually led by two groups, Pro-Gay Philippines and the Metropolitan Community Church. Mga 50 marchers lang to. It was quite small. But the walk was a protest also beside and against the new VAT and price hikes that just happened in the 1990s. So from there, it evolved, convened by the HIV/AIDS network, which drew on more orgs about health and community groups joining the cause until it became the Task Force Pride, which was a very broad coalition. So it soon spawned yung mga party list consultations, which made eventually the Lagablab LGBT network. There we go. Sorry, na tongue twister lang. But that culminated in the 2000s with the SOGI Equality Bill. So it was first filed in 2000. It is now 2026. It is the longest bill that has sat in the Philippine Senate without any action and or passing. So that was when Pride entered the government to begin a legislative campaign. And in 2000, ang Ladlad fought for a party list seat. And now, from the 2019s to the 2020s, mass pride began. So it was the Resist Together group led mainly in QC. And I know we have mga kababayans from QC, and it's now one of the largest in Southeast Asia. There are still some elements where it rightfully it's criticized by becoming commodified or being too forgetting its roots, but Pride was still multi-sector, as we can see, one movement, many sectors, multi-sector, intersectional, and at its core, a protest and a fight for inclusion. Now, stepping back from the timeline, this is what we found in our own research, Nomides, about where we are now as a country. We have some statistics that we'd like to share, Nomides. We can see here 73% accept homosexuality and 79% call LGBT folk as trustworthy. But 40% still indicated from the SWS that they would still want a gay relative to become straight. This is, in so many words, yung encapsulates the malayo na pero malayo pa. We are tolerated, but not really accepted on an institutional level. As I said, longest wait in Congress is the SOGI Equality Bill. 75% of Filipinos have no SOGI protection, and yes, that includes heterosexual people as well. In workplaces, many advancements, but also several step backs as well, where DEI policies exist with everyday bias at the same time. And lastly, you can't talk about pride in the Philippine context without talking about the church, no? And our faith as Catholics. So given the stance of the church on LGBT rights, faith remains a source of stigma, but in research that has been done by me in college, for some queer Filipinos, it's also a source of strength. So it's a very unique position we find ourselves in, near yet far, accepted but not tolerated but not accepted. So this is what we found in regards to data, no? And thank you, Susan.
Mhm. Thanks so much, Juan. No, in fact, I'm curious, Giki and Greg, no? Kasi parang kung iisipin talaga natin, madali siya, you know, kung paano natin haharapin. Sorry ha, medyo naglalag yung aking video, no? Ang katotohanan that, you know, these movements are here because it speaks of reality. Di po ba? No? Realidad siya. Pero as you said, Juan, what's the words you used? Tolerated,
But not accepted.
accepted. Diba? So my question to Kiki and Greg now, and mga kapatid, kasama po kayo rito, ha? Hindi lang po tayo spectator, kasama po tayo sa talakayan. Please make your views known, your perspective, and promise, this is safe and sacred space. We will honor your perspectives, no?
Mhm.
But allow me to ask Kiki and Greg, no? What is it that people around you can do, no? Siguro, one act or two better na pwede namin gawin or others can, no? To make you feel safe, to make you feel truly accepted, fully, wholly, no? As a human being, no? What is it that people can do that will make you feel safe, accepted, and that you truly belong? Let's start with Greg this time.
Sure. I hope you don't mind. I'll be sharing a personal lived experience again.
Absolutely.
Okay, so at least it's coming from, it's coming from reality talaga, and it's coming really from my own experience. When let's have that on a granular lens, yung tolerated but not accepted. So for example, when I was still on my previous employer, when they actually say that actually they can, if I would have stayed, I think they could tolerate me. But really, who will I be the person of I am today if I stayed there? Diba? Will I feel the person na yung gusto ko pa nung bata ako to actually be transitioning? Maybe they can accept, maybe they can tolerate yung as to how I was before, but not as who the person of who I am today, right? So when I transferred, and because of that, although that's just one of the reasons why I look for better opportunities. So when I transferred to Aeon, Philippines, so I have had this interview. So I was already wearing a bit of a shorter hair lang, siguro mga ganito. So I did not actually had to think twice whether ano yung ipapakita kong sarili ko. So nagpakita ako on that particular interview. I still remember that person who interviewed me. You knew her very well, Susan, si Wena Panes. And the role of, Wena Panes is the same of the role of the person who actually talked to me from my previous employer. Na sabi niya, you cannot be this person, blah, 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 blah. But when I attended that particular interview, I was already wearing, hindi ko tinay up yung hair ko. Hindi ako nagtie ng hair. I just let my hair be. I was wearing a little bit of a makeup and so on. I did not actually hide whatever it is as to how I act and how I speak and so on and so forth. But there was no question asked about my gender, about my sexual orientation and so on. Purely professional. And then when I got into Aeon, maybe in a year, I played it safe. During that particular first year, though I was already wearing a bit of a makeup, a bit of a longer hair, then this person, and I know you know her as well, Chris Rosenthal, she approached me. She was actually actually just new to Aeon during that time. Nasa photocopy machine kami noon, naalala ko pa. And then she said, Greng, sabi niya gano'n, parang may kulang sa'yo. And I don't know what was her context during that time. And until she said that, you are too feminine enough pero parang may kulang. Sabi niya gano'n. Bakit parang hindi mo pa ibinibigay ang lahat? So sabi niya yun sa akin. And then sabi ko,
That's
Chris,
so
on what?
Chris.
Yeah, di ba? Really very Chris
Yeah.
Rosenthal herself. Parang may kulang. And then I asked her, on what way? Sabi niya gano'n. Bakit ka pa rin nakapolo? Bakit ka pa rin nakaslacks? Bakit ka pa rin naka-black shoes? And so on and so forth. So, and then I actually mentioned to her my past experience. And then she mentioned, even she was just new to Aeon during that time. And her being part of the executive leadership committee, she actually mentioned to herself, I don't think that's Aeon. Sabi niya ganon. And then I think even if you become your authentic self, I don't think people from here, especially kung natatakot ka about executive committee, management, leadership, would take it against you. No, they won't. And you can start it little by little. And if someone actually would say na hindi, you let me know. Yun yung sabi niya sa akin. And that's where I actually started. That's where I actually started. And even the people here internally, not just Chris herself, not just Wena herself, and other people, even my bosses and so on. When I started doing that, a bit of transitioning as to how I dressed up and so on and so forth, people actually even celebrated me. They were actually even much more happier for me when I actually started doing that. And that's actually where I truly felt, it's a safe space for me. Because when I started even buying those blouses and anything that would make
And
myself,
skirts.
yes, and yes,
Diba?
and dresses, 'di ba? Although
Absolutely.
I did not do it drastically, 'di ba? Hindi ako
I
nag-straight
see.
dress agad. So because I was still playing it safe, even my office mates themselves actually were there actually to actually buy it from SM Makati. I bought it from SM Makati and they were with me buying those blouses and so on. So
Oh,
and
so touchy.
that's where I felt okay, I'm in a safe space. This is a very
Mhm.
inclusive place for me to work with, and that's actually what I am really very proud of as of the
Thank
moment.
you. Thanks so much, Greg. Thanks so much. No? Diyan mo makikita kung sino talaga yung hanggang slogan lang, no? At saka kung sino yung nagre-realize nito, no? That to be able to make you exactly feel the way you did. What about you, Kiki?
Sorry, I'll medyo magiging comedy ako dito. Mag-TLC sila. Charot! Anong ibig kong sabihin? Kasi isa sa natutunan ko talaga sa TLC yung mindful living. Believe me.
Mhm.
Bakit ko sinasabi? Kasi ever since before me knowing TLC, isa na talaga ko sinasabi sa sarili ko, guiding principle ko ay suspend judgment.
Mhm.
Nakita ko yon sa isa sa mga SRHR, sexual reproductive health and rights na conference. Yun yung tagline ng isang organization. So, ever since, and then reflective, sabi ko, totoo naman eh. Ang problema kasi sa atin, we all have those biases. Pero ang nangyayari, kinakain ka agad or nagpapadala ka dun sa biases mo. So, dapat simula, suspend judgment talaga. So, kaya nga masaya ako nung nakita ko yung simple rules niyo eh. Kasi that is very, very important. And then when I was introduced with TLC and the concept of mindful living, mindfulness, ang masasabi ko lang, paano ka magiging tanggap ng kapwa mo? Ang sagot actually ay dapat maging masaya yung bawat tao. Kasi if they're really happy, inisip ko na rin before. Sorry, medyo nagja-jump ako kasi na-excite ako sa discussion na to. Kasi dati kasi iniisip ko yon na magpakatao.
Mhm.
But then, I
Mhm.
reflected, based dun sa reflection ko, hindi sagot agad yung pagiging makatao. Bakit? Kasi yung pagiging makatao, it's not necessarily being good or bad. Pero we are all living survival eh. 'Di ba? So sometimes talaga, minsan yung biases mo, because gusto mong mag-survive in life, nagiging ano ka rin, minsan negative ka towards other people. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang siya simpleng pagiging makatao or pagiging tao. So, it's more of dapat maging mindful ka sa ginagawa mo, sa kilos mo, tapos mas pag-focus rin doon sa pagiging masaya mo as a person. If you feel whole, kung tanggap mo yung sarili mo, and maybe, ewan ko, naniniwala kasi ano magre-ripple siya. Hindi ka magiging negative towards other people.
Mismo. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, ang sagot ay mag-TLC sila. Charot.
Yay! Thank you, Geeky. Thank you,
Hindi, pero ang ganda. Isa
Gwen.
yun sa mga natutunan ko and patuloy yun. And I really agree na once na masaya ka, masaya tayo. Kunyari tayong lahat, masaya tayong ganito.
Mm-mm.
Eventually, mas spread natin yung positive energy na yun. Di ba? Ano sila, mas ma-inspire sila sa ating lahat. And eventually, baka mag-create tayo ng world na masaya for everyone. Ayun
That's
lang.
one. That is well. That's whole. No? At saka, I'm so grateful, Kiki, that you appreciate yung mindfulness, no? Which is really a practice. Hindi lang po talaga siya practice. Lifestyle po talaga siya, no? Naguhugas ka ng plato, naliligo ka sa banyo, kung ano-ano, kung saan-saan lumilipad yung isip mo, just be present, no? Tanggapin mo yung kasalukuyan. Tingnan mo siya, gamitin mo lahat yung six senses mo to see things as they really are. Because you will find that things are not that difficult to accept. You will find that that is really where we will all feel safe. No? One, you want to talk a little bit more about feeling safe, being safe. No, I know that we have, a slide about a safe space and what kind of picture shows what is safe, because that's exactly what the question was that we asked our special guests. No?
So, this is an experiment and an embodied activity that we're trying to do today. So, mga kaibigan, with all the things that have been spoken about and shared, and I can see, thank you so much, Pat. Thank you so much, Ayan, and thank you so much, Zeeb, for sharing on chat, yung mga hugot and realization and insights ninyo. But for everyone in this container now, you can draw it on a piece of paper and upload it to chat, or you can find a picture that resonates with you online. But basta don't overthink it. The point is, we want to invite everyone to choose a picture that shows what a safe space looks like for you. No, we've talked about inclusion, we've talked about acceptance, we've even talked about what are one things and what are mindsets that we can use to be more accepting and to build safer spaces. Now, I want to see from the group, what do your safe spaces look like? Don't overthink it. Just, if you feel compelled to draw, draw.
Hindi ko magaling mag-drawing. Pero, mag-post ako sa chat. No?
Thank you, Susan.
Sa akin, you know what the photos say? It really takes a village. Diba? It's so Ubuntu. Don't you think so, Minds? No? It takes a family, it takes community. But first and foremost, kailangan your acceptance will be first. You as a person must accept yourself, no? Exactly the way you are, right here, right now. No filters, no editing. All right. Take it away, Maida.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing your photos.
Okay, it's ready,
We'll put
Minds.
we'll put this all together. Okay. Oh, you placed all set. Let me show it now.
Wow, ang galing naman ng team na to, no? In real time. Wala akong masabi. Di ba, Kiki, Greng? No? What can we say? No?
Iba
Masaya
talaga.
talaga. Masaya talaga.
Mabilis.
And thank you so much, Mites, for the music. Keep on playing it. Tapos, let's just give ourselves permission to pause. Let's just pause for 1 minute and appreciate all of these that came from our hearts, our hands, our heads, but most importantly, us as humans.
There are some that I added. So, Mides, if you could refresh it lang.
Sure.
Masyado ka daw mabilis, Mides, sabi ni Joyce. Ox lang, Joyce. Dagdag lang, dagdag. Hindi talaga ako mag-drawing, pero yung drawing ko dyan means I really feel safe in nature. And we are nature. Dapat hindi natin iniiba ang sarili natin sa kalikasan. Diba? Yung bang, ikaw yung may dominion dyan sa kalikasan. Ay, hindi kaya. Ang kalikasan ay may dominion sa atin. Di po ba? So, kailangan para tayong kabuti, no? Kailangan para tayong may psyllium. Mag-connect-connecta tayo sa isa't isa para buuin, no, ang isang sustainable community and sustainable planet that we live in, no? I love you guys. Thank you for this. Ang galing naman what you shared. Truly appreciated. No?
Yeah, and the creative minds, no?
Diba, Greng? Geeks,
I don't
no?
know how to interpret that halo-halo there being a safe space. You know, it is something we want really to hear.
It's so colorful.
So
Multicolored. No? Tapos, iba-ibang panlasa, di ba, Greng? Sa Pilipinas, di ba ganyan yung halo-halo natin? Parang mayroong malambot, may matikas, may tamis-tamis, medyo may maasim-maasim, di ba? Parang, hindi ba yun yung pakikipagkapwa?
Ay, oo nga, no, Susan. And that actually made me think, because even if magkakaiba yung lasa nila, they all mix well. Di ba?
Yes.
And when they all put together, ang sarap.
Mismo. No? Kaya maraming Filipino dishes na naging Michelin na diba? Dahil sa creativity na pinagsama-sama ng mga Michelin chefs, no? Diba may karinderya, turo-turo na napansama sa I haven't gone there yet. That's one of my future in the next month's bucket list. Siguro that's where we should go as TLC one of these days. Aniyahan namin kayo para sama-sama tayo. No? Okay, back to you, Juan and Mites.
I just quickly divided, if you can call it that. I tried to put together the groups into themes. We have one on the right, it's food. On the leftmost, it's food. That's my picture, yung buffet table na sobrang napakadaming pagkain. Not because I like to eat, well, because I like to eat, but because I think it's togetherness,
tanggap kita, Juan. Tanggap kita.
And like the buffet table and the halo-halo, there's a mix, no? There's a mix of everything is there, no?
Yes.
There's also celebrations. A wedding, there are pictures of weddings, but there are also pictures of a balloon with confetti, because a safe space also entails celebration and radical acceptance. Ito, I think these ones, very, very interesting, no? Because it's a lot of concentric shapes. I feel like safe spaces are structures as well, diba?
Yeah.
Structures of belonging, structures of integration.
Containers.
Yes,
And
there we go.
containers sa human
Containers.
systems dynamics. In fact, what you're doing now, Juan, is using the CBE model or pattern logic to identify what is it that keeps these different containers together. And you will find that all of this, there is a bigger human container that accommodates all of them. Beautiful,
Yes.
right? Beautiful.
Kasi there's also family, home,
Yeah.
and then there's also nature, but there's
Nature,
also
the
prayer.
planet,
Yes.
and the bonding connection with each other. No? If I may add at this point, my dear friends, no, and I'm really grateful that you're here. There were 85 folks who signed up, but there's only 20 plus that are still here. One of the things I've learned over many years of consulting, coaching, capacity creation, and community connection, or simply being human is this: walang dumarating sa atin na blank slate. 'Di ba? Sa kahit anong gathering, pag nagsama-sama tayo, whether sa trabaho, nagre-reunion, birthday, binyag, wala naman dumarating na zero blank slate, 'di ba? Lahat tayo hinuhugis, no? We are shaped beautifully and, if I might say, imperfectly by the containers within which we were raised. Ano-ano yung mga containers na yan? Kaya dapat po tayo maging conscious. We as people must live consciously, aware, bukas, may kamalayan, bukas ang mata, ang puso, ang isipan, ang kaluluwa. One, family, container yan. Kultura bilang Pilipino. Pag nandito tayo sa Pilipinas, iba yung how we act with each other. Pagdating natin abroad, abay, iba rin yung Pilipino, how we show up. Bakit kaya? Diba? Yung mga eskwelahan natin kung saan tayo nag-aaral, yung mga faith and wisdom traditions, yung mga religious traditions na ating kinalakhan, yung mga komunidad natin, our community, yung media that we consume, yung mga storya na narinig natin, paslit pa lang tayo, di ba? Maliliit pa lang tayo. Kung ano-ano ang lahat yan, hinuhubog tayo. Which is why we are who we are now. These containers give us a language. Binibigyan niya tayo ng values, ng ating identity. They help us survive and belong. And for that, we are grateful. Pero, ito yung but, friends, no, before we go on break shortly. Ang bawat container na naghubog sa ating lahat, meron siyang limitasyon. No? It may teach us who belongs and who doesn't. Ay, di ba? Sino sa inyo naka-experience? Sino yung anak? No? Huwag kang makikipaglaro dyan sa mga taong yan, ha? Ito lang, dito ka lang. Right? Diyan huhubog yung mga sino yung nagbebalong at hindi. The containers teach us who doesn't belong, who belongs. It teaches who is normal, who is not normal. When did we become God to be able to say that? It teaches us what we should fear. Sino yung dapat katakutan? Nung maliit ako, oh my God, hindi ko naintindihan siya. Lumaki ako sa Cordillera, sa Benguet, no? Dahil minero yung tatay ko, no? Parang naririnig ko, yan si ganito, Moro yan, Muslim yan. Oh my God! Parang ngayon, nahiya ako pag natatandaan ko yun. Pero paano kaya kung hindi nabuksan yung aking isipan, diba? Sometimes the containers that na humubog sa atin teaches us also to ask questions. Or it can teach us not to ask questions. Parang papauho lang tayo. Alam mo yun? Yung it's Spanish for the horse, yung may blinder siya, no? So, ang tanong ko sa inyo, What are your blinders? What containers? Saan-saang container kayo lumaki na siyang naghubog sa inyo? No? So we are invited to be aware of them, not to reject them, pero to examine them with honesty, with humility, and with compassion. To both of you, I ask, no? Since iba talaga yung lived experience, di ba? Yung karanasan nyo. Can you tell us about someone or some people who surprised you? Yung bang initially, hindi nila kayo tinatanggap, hindi nila kayo maintindihan, no? Saan kayo nanggagaling, no? Parang parating ilang tinatanong bakit dati. But eventually, parang became your greatest supporters and allies, no? Can you share with us, no? These, what happened, and what changes, no? What shifted that they became your greatest allies? Kiki?
Hello po ulit. Magiging emotional ako. Ano ba yan? Una, sobra akong thankful dun sa lahat ng mga messages na kanina kasi kanina pa ako. Tapos with that question, hindi ko alam, hindi siguro yung ngayon, pero I will go back dun sa unang panahon na I realized that I'm a lesbian when I had a relationship with my housemate nung college ako, no? Tapos, she died. So, when she died, um, sinabi ko sa mama ko, parang, ma, yung housemate ko, ano, namatay. Pero kasi Muslim siya, so nalibing na rin. Pero gusto ko sana parang may pasyam, parang may ganun, celebration of life, ganyan. Tapos, I'm first year college na. So, yung nanay ko, all the way from Quezon City, nagpunta kami ng Cavite. So, sinamahan niya ako. She never asked questions. And then, I realized, isa yun sa, ang laking bagay nun for a person na hindi ka tinatanong kung ano yun, pero alam mo yung buong buo yung suporta. Pero I'll be comedic once again. Because after a year, kasi ako yung klase ng tao na I'm very talkative. So, chikadora talaga ako. And chika lang ako ng chika sa nanay ko. Tapos, na-realize niya, parang I had this, one person, I always mention him. Kunyari, alam mo yung, pag mga kasama ka na binabanggit, iniisa-isa mo, pero lagi siyang kasama doon. Tapos, bigla na lang, at one moment, my mom said, alam mo, Neng, sa pamilya ni Papa mo, maraming matandang dalaga. Tapos sa pamilya ko, maraming tomboy. Tapos parang ako, so
Oh.
ma, pinapapili mo ba ako?
Tomboy o matandang dalaga? Or both?
Oo. So, hindi. Gusto ko lang sabihin kung paano yung experience namin ni Mama na sobrang grabe yung journey. She started without supporting me without asking any question. And then eventually, yun nga, yung mga pasakali. And then, I eventually came out to her. Tapos, she asked questions. Hindi interrogation, pero mas question. Neng, bakit ganyan? Yung kala ko tomboy ka. 'Di ba dapat pag tomboy, bakit ka nagdadangling earrings? So, you have to explain, pero you know na saan siya nagmumula. Nagmumula siya doon sa care, love, and curiosity, 'di ba? Hindi interrogation hindi ko naramdaman na dapat ako magtago. And siguro nga rin, ito yung sinasabi ko rin, na like kong sinishare with regards to being a parent. I'm not a parent, pero I'm very, syempre, napapansin ko and I observe people a lot, no? And I realize, this is a reflection ko, yung parents, hindi naman sila pinanganak na magulang na eh. So, sila rin ay nag-navigate doon sa mga bagay-bagay. They don't know to ask the right question or kung ano ba yung tamang tanong o paano ba magtanong. They don't know kung dapat ba mag-aantay lang sila. Kaya ako, naniniwala ako, yung belonging, yung pagiging buong ikaw, dalawang klase siya eh. One is, ikaw mismo rin ay merong responsibilidad to show authentically. I know it's hard. Hindi ko sinasabi na agad-agad, 'di ba? Lagi niyo pa rin ang tawag nito, i-weigh niyo yung safety niyo, kung okay ba o hindi kasi lagi yan yung sinasabi ko eh. Pero if you have if you feel or na-assess niyo na okay naman and you have the courage, represent, show up kung sino ka. Take up spaces, since like the sinasabi, take up spaces. And then eventually, that might also help other people around you. Like your parents, they don't know how to ask, pero surely, lagi tong tawanan with friends na, oh, alam naman ng nanay mo, eh, paabago-bago ka ng best friends, di ba? So, alam yun na yun, parang nagtatawanan, pero they also want us, and they also want to support us, but they also don't know how. And naging kind lang tayo sa bawat journey ng bawat isa. So, tumalon na ako sa maraming bagay, Miss Susan, pero yun po talaga, it's my mom who really made an impact.
I'm so happy to hear about that, Kiki, na nag-umpisa rin sa family. No? Thank you so much, Greg.
Gigi, thanks for sharing that. It was very emotional. And then, yet, natawa na rin ako dun sa dulo. For me, it's the same with Giki. And I think being the one na nakakasama natin on a daily basis is the family. And it includes all members of my family. So, starting with my parents, and the structure of the family. So, ate ko lang yung babae sa amin, yung pinakapanganay. And yet, magkakasunod na yung lalaki. So, yung kuya ko, right after my sister, then me, and then yung bunso, which is also, another Bruce ko. So, and yet, napapagitnaan ako ng dalawang lalaki. Magkasunod pa kami ng age ng bunso. So, it's really hard to live in that situation during those times kasi bilang tatlo yung lalaki and my parents were working during those days. So, nako-compare yung family ni ganito sa family ni ganyan, si ganito, si ganyan. So, when they need to bring us into a celebration, so I need to be someone that is acting as a boy and so on and so forth. So, at sabi ko, so saan ako magsisimula? If ganito yung gusto nilang mangyari sa akin. And then of course, when I started doing so I started it actually using, ladies bags. And yet I did not hear something. I heard something not so good as a comment from my father during those times that I was already high school. I was already high school then. But then, sabi nga ni Giki, I think parents also had their own, ang tawag dito, circumstances. So, hindi rin nila alam na on those times, paano ko ba ina-navigate si ganito, si ganyan, 'di ba? And kulang na lang siguro those when I was still a child, 'di ba? Parang wag nila akong isama sa ganito or sa ganyan. Mas gugustuhin ko na lang para na lang siguro kung nakakahiya ba na isama ako, wag na lang akong sumama or something like that kaysa ma-compare ako doon sa mga kapatid ko. So I gotta have to cope something for myself. Kailangan ko bawiin yun sa academics, kailangan ko para kapag napag-uusapan ng family and yung children, I have something na may pagmamalaki and not because yun yung nakikita nila sa akin because I was growing up gay. 'Di ba? At hindi yun yung makita. So ako, kino-cover ko siya on something na magiging proud naman sila sa akin. But yun nga yun, na yung gusto kong maging ako as my authentic self, hindi ako maging proud para sa sarili ko at hindi din sila maging proud para sa akin. But what I did is I did it actually, and coping up that way, and I'm happy that I actually cope that way. Kasi otherwise, baka sa ibang bagay ako nag-cope, baka mamaya on ibang direction, baka hindi maganda. So I gotta have to cope on a way na magiging proud pa rin sila sa akin. And I would say na hindi siya bad thing because it hindi maganda yung academics ko and so on and so forth, baka mamaya I wouldn't be on the place where I am right now kung hindi ako naging maayos din sa sarili ko during those times because I also wanted my parents to be proud of me. So, ginalingan ko sa academics until I graduated in college and so on and so forth until I realized na when they already can see that I can already fly on my own using my own wings, where I could already handle myself without people, bullying me and so on and so forth. And then only then I realized siguro nagiging protective lang din pala sila during those times that they might get hurt because I'm also hurting. I would also get hurt of growing up as a gay person because nung lumalaki naman na ako, nung college naman na ako, that I became a scholar, I graduated with honors and so on and so forth. And then I started transitioning. I saw their confidence in me na. Nakita ko na from little by little, natatanggap na nila. And up until, lo and behold, today, yung mga kasamahan nila sa trabaho pupunta sa bahay. I don't care how I look like and so on and so forth. Nasasabihin nila, ay, ang ganda na ni Greg. Ito na pala si Greg, ang ganda na ni Greg. And they are so proud. I can see my parents and there's no bad reactions on their faces. They're so happy na ay si Greg ganito ganyan. So I don't have to hide myself anymore. I can be my authentic self already. And again, sa mga kaibigan natin na nandito, you might be knowing someone close to your home, close to your workplace, and so on and so forth. Maybe they just needed someone, just like my story earlier, di ba? So, like from my workplace, if that particular person did not approach me and say that, bakit hindi mo gawin? Ba't hindi ka mag full blown if that is actually what you wanted to do so? It just need to take one person for me to be able to really realize, kaya ko naman pala at safe naman pala. If we can also be a safe space, pag sinabi natin, hindi siya talaga really space it's much more of the people around us. If you can be that person, no, and maybe start it little by little. So on a day by day, kung may nakakausap tayo, may person close to you, and be the safe person for that person, and be the supporter of that person, it will really change the world little by little.
Wonderful. That is so touching, Greg. And maraming salamat, Kiki and Greg, no? Pareho pa kayo, G and G, diba? For your, I feel that parang napaka-intimate ng space natin ngayon. I feel thank you for your trust and thank you for our friends who have joined us today, for trusting us to be able to tackle something so intimate in our lives. No? May I ask Juan and Maida, perhaps with some parting thoughts from you? Go ahead, Kiki, please.
Sorry po, I just want to share lang po, because Galang is also here, no? Galang has a publication, a paper. Actually, it's a brochure about ang ating mga anak. It's a book on how parents, para sa mga magulang ng LGBTIQ+. So, nandun yung mga kwento rin from the communities. Tapos, ano yung mga steps and ways po na maaari nilang gawin para doon sa navigating yung kanilang feelings and how to communicate with their children. Kasi lumabas rin talaga na most of the parents, nagmumula talaga siya, hindi sa shame, pero it's about dun sa care and love nila sa mga anak nila, kung bakit sila very protective, bakit minsan nasasaktan nila para magbago, kasi nga takot sila na mas masasaktan in the future. So I can share rin po dito, and thank you, kudos to Galang for doing that.
Thank you so much. Now, quickly, Juan, Maida, before I wrap up.
I think we thank you for everyone who shared in our chat. We wish we could have all the time in the world to read and go through them, but know that you are seen, heard, and we are holding space for you. But if we could just leave with a message, if we could share slide 39, Mides. I think this is something that Grang and Geeky and I
Can we,
and my
can we, okay, all right, sige, kasi we can post this in the group chat.
okay.
We can post this in the group chat. Minds, words from you? You're
Yes,
our main EP.
And first and foremost, Greng, Kiki, thank you so much for coming into the space with us. This topic, actually, I won't even call it a topic. It's really a conversation, a space where a container rather, that this month really invites all of us. That's why it happens after June, diba? Because yun nga, pride beyond the rainbow. So we celebrate the different colors, we celebrate each other, and we also celebrate folks like the both of you that advocate for these kinds of conversations and helps also us NTLC and me myself as the person that with this team that brings together this conversation to continue this advocacy because it is at this very moment in time in our world today so important. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Juan and Aids and the rest of the team for mounting the F3 today. Of course, very, very deep thank yous. Maraming salamat, Geeky and Greg. No? Today's conversation is not really asking anyone. Hindi po namin hinihiling na i-abandon natin yung mga ating deeply held beliefs, lalo tigit yun ang mga naghugis, no, sa atin. It is inviting us to be curious, makinig, no, to listen and listen deeply, to understand another human being's lived experience, because human dignity does not require uniformity. Hindi kailangan pare-pareho tayo. And human rights begins with a very simple recognition that every person, ang bawat isa sa atin, no, possesses inherent worth. Lahat po tayo, anong hugis man nating kulay, no, mahalaga tayo. Tayong lahat. Not because we have earned it, not because others are like us, but because we are human. That doesn't mean we'll all leave this space and container agreeing, but perhaps we can leave understanding each other just a little more deeply. I love you all. Thank you so much. Thanks so much,